Hey everyone, I'm Dark Quoter, and welcome back to Katawa Shoujo. So last time, pretty much what we did was helped Rin with her mural again with Emi. We had to go look for some paint in the art room, and then Emi told us about a workout and dieting schedule. And then next day, it was the carnival, so Emi found me at the carnival trying to eat something unhealthy, and she saved me from eating it. Bad Emi. You should at least let me have one unhealthy thing. Come on, it's a carnival. Well, not carnival, festival, technically. But come on. And then we went to see Rin's mural, and it was cool, although odd. And now we're all having lunch together. So now... yeah, I'll set an alarm. You'd better be there, or I will hunt you down. I have many skills. I'll get angry if you aren't. God forbid. I don't think God comes into it. Unless there's some kind of freak accident and your alarm clock shorts out. That might be a random act of God. Well, don't cause any random acts of God then. Plan forms itself in my mind. It's a plan that makes me feel kind of guilty, but I throw it into execution anyway. Damn it, I've earned a little fried food. And anyway, I'm going to start running tomorrow, right? So the actual routine all starts then, not now. Ergo, the dietary portion starts tomorrow too. Ergo, I can have something unhealthy today. A sort of final farewell to all the stuff I used to eat with wild abandon before the hospital. Actually, I suppose I should head back to my room. I had some homework to do, and if I'm going to run in the morning, I should make it an early night. Those narrowed eyes again. She's suspicious. You sure you're not going to sneak off and buy some of that fried stuff over there? Nah, too full to bother now. I pat my stomach for emphasis. Besides, you two have cleaned me out anyway. Emma giggles. It's a surprisingly pleasant sound. Another pang of guilt. She's got to know that I'm lying to her, doesn't she? Or is she just that trusting? You fool. You foolish fool. I feel kind of like a monster. All part of my master plan, Hisao. Well, I guess I'll see you tomorrow morning then. Thanks for the food and keeping us company. And here I thought she was doing me a favor. Rin nods in agreement. I won't say see you tomorrow because that would be like predicting the future, and I'm pretty sure I can't do that. Okay. Bye, you two. I feel oddly glad that I decided to leave my room today. Not a bad way to start my second week here, I suppose. Once I'm sure I'm out of Emi's line of sight, I make a beeline for the food stands and buy some cake. At least it's not fried, right? That's slightly better than what I was planning to do. I still feel a little bad about lying to Emi, though. She really does seem concerned about my health. I'll make it up to her somehow. Better head back to my room. Hey, I do have work to do. My book waits for me, and I flop onto my bed to read through the fireworks display. Oh, you're not going to see the fireworks? Eventually, all the walking around, or more accurately, running around, catches up with me. I really am out of shape. Emi dragging me out in the morning to run might just be a good thing after all. It's something to look forward to. Oh. Got some scenes going on. That's pretty cool. I kind of wish they actually made an anime about this. I'd watch it. Come on, Hisao, you can't run that fast yet. Isn't that cool? She's helping you. Oh, come on, accept her help already. Or is this like a video of the day he had an attack? I don't know. hanging out with Emi. That's pretty cool. Act 2. Oh, that was Act 1? Holy crap. This is a long game. Not that I mind. I really like it, but oh, wow. All that stuff was Act 1. Dude. My alarm's beeping shatters the early morning quiet, and I find myself wondering where to find the motivation to rise. Class is still quite far off, but I agree to run with Emi in the mornings. Really, I'm not that interested in running as a hobby, or even as a possible life-lengthening exercise. However, I feel obligated to follow through on my promise to Emi yesterday, which is why I find myself throwing on some running shorts and a light t-shirt. The cool morning air caresses my face as the morning sunshine causes the dew on the grass to sparkle, nearly blinding me at first. As I make my way down to the track, an ugly thought strikes me. What if this is some sort of joke that Emi's playing on me? Would that surprise me, really? Hell, I'd probably do it to the new guy, too. At the very least, I'm sure Emi and Rin made a bet on whether or not I'd actually show up. I feel a sense of trepidation as the track comes into view. You're late. It would seem that Emi is already there. What a relief. Now, according to my watch, we both are early, in fact. Damn, you've got me there. Emi is sitting on the bleachers, decked out in her running gear, waiting somewhat patiently for me. Glad you're actually here. I was afraid that this was a joke or something. Nah, I'd never make someone get up early for nothing. Plus, Rin owes me 500 yen now. She didn't think you'd actually show up. I knew it. Nice to know Emi was on my side, at least. Emi hops off the bleachers and begins stretching out. She's remarkably lithe, almost like a dancer. I set to stretch out as well, but then realized that I don't exactly remember how to stretch properly. It's been ages since I stretched for anything, if you don't count my one stint at running last week. And even then, I don't think I actually stretched beforehand. The specter of my long hospital stay rises up again. I can't say I was all that active before the hospital stay, though, so maybe I'm just being morose. Emi giggles as she watches me stretch out. No, Hisao, you've got to hold that for longer than that. I'm trying, it kinda hurts a little. Ah, that's because you're out of shape. You've got to get some flexibility in you, like this. And then she disappears underground. Emi, I choose you. And then she pops out of the ground as Diglett. To demonstrate, Emi reaches down and puts her head through her legs. God bless you, Emi. Oh, I see. Is that the sort of thing I should strive for? Of course. Flexibility is important for any runner. You'll be able to go faster the more you start out. That makes no sense to me, but Emi seems to believe it's true. With Emi's help, I managed to stretch myself out properly. I can't help but notice that when she thinks about how to explain things to me, her mouth scrunches up in concentration. It's adorable. Not bad, Hisao. Come on, we better start running. We'll start off with just a mile, okay? That's 4 laps around the track. Got it? That sounds fun to me. This shouldn't be too hard, right? A hazy memory of running a mile for gym class surfaces in my mind. Yeah, I used to have to run a mile for gym class too. I could never make it a mile, though. That was years ago. Yeah, it wasn't that bad. Oh, yes, it was. For me, at least. Emi sets a pretty good pace, and I fall in behind her. Try to keep up, okay, Hisao? Roger. Roger. We round the first curve without incident, though I can already feel my heart rate increasing slightly. By the second curve, I've started to breathe through my mouth. Emi doesn't even seem to be breaking a sweat. As if to punctuate her superiority, she turns around and starts running backwards. Emi, you show off. Are you doing okay, Hisao? Never better. Oh, really? Maybe I should speed up then, hmm? Oh, no. Wouldn't want you to overexert yourself. My heavy panting and wheezing makes the statement less convincing than I had hoped. Emi simply smiles and turns around again. You're the boss, Hisao. We'll stay at this pace. I get the feeling that I'm being mocked. If I weren't in such terrible shape, I'd probably feel offended. By the third lap, my breath is coming in ragged gasps. I'm also washing my own sweat. Gross. I know how that feels. We round the curve to start our 4th lap, and Emi looks back at me with a grin. Here we go. Maybe I should have said it like Mario. Here we go! Something like that. She takes off at blinding speed while I stubbornly stick to my slower pace. By the time I get to the first turn, she's already rounding the 2nd. As I struggle across the back stretch, Emi continues running and catches up to me. Come on, Hisao, you can do it. You can do it! I'd answer her, but I'm too focused on getting air into my lungs and ignoring the burning in my leg muscles. Part of me wants to say something like, maybe you can, but I'm about to die here. But again, I doubt I can actually form words right now. Emi keeps pace with me as I round the 2nd turn and cross the finish line. Her spirit seems to have gotten her sweating. Her sprint seems to have gotten her sweating. Read words, say words. It's actually caused her shirt to turn slightly translucent. It seems she wears a black sports bra. Is that really what we're interested in right now? I feel a vague step of guilt for being the sort of guy who stares at a girl's chest, but my legs and chest are burning so badly I can't bring myself to care that much. Not bad for our first start for Hisao. Kind of you to say so. Emi seems to be, if not out of breath, at least breathing a little more heavily than she was before we started running. It must have been the sprint that did it. Hey, I've got a few sprints in. You should walk around the track to cool down. Then we can stretch out and we'll be all done, okay? Sounds great. My legs are on fire and my breathing is still heavy, but surprisingly my heart seems to be taking the strain well. Another triumph of medical science, I suppose. You should put your hands behind your head. It makes it easier to catch your breath. Surprisingly, she's right. I begin to stroll around the track, happy to feel my breath coming back to me. There's a blur as Emi sprints by me. Watching her run is absolutely fascinating. It's not just because she's on prosthetics, though. That is interesting. The really interesting thing is the way her face changes. I can only catch glimpses of it as she runs by her, but her eyes seem to come alive with a sort of fierce joy. It's as if there's nothing else in the world but her on the track. By the time I've gotten to the final stretch, Emi seems to have finished her sprinting. She's breathing heavily now, but she's wearing a satisfied grin on her face. She waves to me cheerily as I near her. Feeling better, right? Actually, yeah. Do you want to take another lap around with me? I've got to cool down too, you know. Part of me would rather sit down and not move, but something tells me that would be a bad idea. Besides, if I sit down, there may be no getting back up again. Sure, why not? Emma's got her hands behind her head now as well, which makes her seem very relaxed. The positioning of her arms also pulls her shirt upwards ever so slightly, so that I can see a small strip of her belly. I do my best to act a gentleman and not look, but the contrast of her skin against her red running shorts is rather arresting. So how do you feel, Hisao? Surprisingly good, actually. I'm sore and tired, but surprisingly good. As soon as I say it, I realize that it's true. Sure, part of me wants to lay down and die, but I feel like I've accomplished something. Yeah, that's me every day. It's almost like a glow throughout my body that persists despite the soreness. Yep, that's the runner's high. Runner's high? Yeah, that's something to do with the adrenaline? Emi thinks for a moment as we walk, trying to remember. Then she shrugs and grins at me. I don't actually remember. That's a good feeling though, isn't it? Better on 6th, right? I open my mouth to respond shortly before processing what she's just said. Emi, do you have something to tell me? Emi watches my face for a few moments before bursting into laughter. Sorry, I couldn't resist. You're just too easy. Why did I agree to run with you again? Emi just laughs harder. She takes a hold of my forearm and tilts it, allowing her to get a better view of my watch. Her face changes the moment she sees the time. Oh no, we'd better get a move on this, Hisao. Class is in an hour, and I need a shower. I should probably do that as well. I need to see the nurse, too. Maybe he'll write me a note for being late. Why do you need to see the nurse? Emi points to her prosthetics as if that would explain everything. It's important to check for irritation. You know, from threat or friction or anything. Normally I go only after practice, but if we're going to be doing this morning runs, then I guess I have to see him twice a day. Wait, so Emi has only started doing this run since I showed up? It's more convenient for you to run with me at a later time. Don't be silly. I've been meaning to start running in the morning for a while now. But if I didn't have a partner to run with, I'd be less likely to keep up a routine. It's always harder to pull off a commitment if you're going to let someone else down, you know? So you'll be my running partner for the mornings. We both need the exercise and so it work out, don't you think? Yeah, perfect. Did it have to meet me, though? Well, I guess I can't complain too much. Emi's pretty fun to hang out with. And she's right, I do need the exercise. Doctor's orders, even. Plus, you get to see her translucent shirt whenever she runs. Emi waves a quick goodbye to me. Right, I'm off. Come and have lunch with us, okay? What? Lunch. You know the meal. In the middle of the day. Come have it with us. Where? The rooftop. Rin lights it up there. When? Lunchtime, when else? That was a silly question. Yeah, but I sort of felt the need to ask for all three, for completeness' sake. Emi laughs and grins. I don't think I've ever seen a girl smile so much before. Not bad, Hisao. See ya. With that, she takes off like a shot for the school building. I guess she's going to see the nurse first. I hurry back to my room and hop in the shower, only to find that the water takes a while to heat up. The shock of the cold water nearly kills me. Oh boy. I managed to warm the water a bit and spent some quality time feeling my muscles loosen. My heart surprisingly feels the least bothered by the run. I suppose that's a good thing, even if it does make me feel like a bit of a wuss. I mean, at least I'd have an excuse beyond I'm out of shape if my heart were bothering me. Guess I'll have to keep this running thing up, otherwise I'm sure Emi won't let me hear the end of it. It's only after I get out and dry myself off that I realize that I've only 10 minutes left to put my clothes on and get to class. Crap. The hands on the clock finally set me free from the tedium of yet another fun-filled class. Getting up from my seat proves to be more of a problem than I anticipated. My legs are killing me from the morning's run. Maybe doing this with Emi isn't such a hot idea after all. Still, the run's given me a hell of an appetite. I'm halfway down the hallway to the cafeteria when I remember that I've got my lunch with me. My parents saw fit to provide me with some prepackaged stuff when I moved in, and the good thing, too. The hallway is packed with students headed for the cafeteria. Going back is like swimming upstream, but I've got an appointment to keep on the rooftop. It takes me a moment to find the staircase leading up to the rooftop, but I'm willing to bet that Emi and Rin aren't up there by now anyway. In fact, I think I saw Emi among the bodies in the hallway headed for the cafeteria. I step out of the door to the roof and take a deep breath. The fresh air blowing against my face and body almost makes my legs hurt less. Maybe if I'm upside down. Part of me wants to be surprised that Rin's already up here. What's that going to accomplish? Things in the clouds. Couldn't you just look at them right side up? Rin rolls her eyes in something approaching exasperation. Then I wouldn't get a new perspective. Is upside down really a new perspective? Aha, that caught her off guard. Rin looks pensive. You may have a point. Maybe it's sideways. And she disappears onto the ground. Maybe she's Doug Trio. As Rin lays down on the bench to look at the sky, I give up. Fortunately, Emi chooses that moment to burst through the door carrying 2 bags. She nearly takes the door off the hinges. Sorry it took me so long. There are a ton of people in line. She drops the first bag in front of Rin and takes a seat on the bench next to her. You buy Rin's lunch for her? Sometimes, yeah. I'd have Rin buy my lunch for me in return, but I'm not sure how she'd carry it. Plus, I'd never buy her lunch. If Rin's offended by Emi's comment, she doesn't show it. Emi sniffs. Oh, and grateful of you. I'm not sure whether the two are joking with one another or from witnessing the beginnings of a catfight. The 2 girls stare at one another for a few tense moments before breaking into smiles. Hey, Emi, do you think being upside down is a new perspective on things? Didn't I already have the conversation? Emi looks thoughtful, apparently giving the question some thought. After a deep and profound pause, she speaks. I have no idea. Well, at least she's as lost as I am. Hey, Hisao, you're coming to the track meet, right? The question comes out of the blue and catches me off guard. I don't know yet. Honestly, Hisao, after I went through all the trouble of letting you run with me in the morning, you won't even show up at my track meet. Wasn't she the one that asked me to run with her? Actually, she didn't even give me a choice in the matter. Wait, no, I didn't say that. She beams at me as if I just agreed to give her $1 million. Maybe you did. So you would come after all. That's great. I didn't say that either. I'll be going too, so I'll make sure he comes, Emi. Good idea, Rin. Maybe we can get some food or something after the meet's over. I feel like I've just been conned, but not by these two. More like by some outside force pushing me irrevocably toward my destiny. Probably the game devs, is my guess. Or maybe I shouldn't read books that feature conspiracy theories so heavily, otherwise I might wind up settling like Kenji. Still, I suppose that I've got to show up now. I don't think that I could stand against both of them being disappointed. I'd never hear the end of it. When is it again? Next week, silly. I just told you a few days ago. No, you didn't. I forgot? Well, you won't forget to come though, will you? Of course I won't. I'll even make a note on a calendar or something. Rin nods sagely. That's probably a good idea, you know, unless time changes its course. It can do that? Rin gives a non-committal shrug. It hasn't yet, but you never know. Well, this was an interesting session. Thank you guys for watching. Thanks for joining me and Katawa Shoujo, and I'll see you next time.